Assalamu alaikum and welcome again to another Fit Fusion show. If you have watched us before, you know we talk about healthy stuff, how to get healthy, nutrition, what to do, what not to do, and so on and so forth. And I always have a brilliant guest with me who are expert in this field. Today I've got Simon Pigliapoco. Yes, that's an Italian name, and he's a specialist. He's a registered sport nutritionist, CERN. I'll be asking him what that is. He's got a master's degree sport and exercise nutrition, postgraduate diploma in performance nutrition, bachelor honors degree sports science, and it goes on and on. So I'm not going to take much of the time explaining his expertise. Welcome to the show, Simon.
Thank you so much, Sharif.
Fantastic. Right. Okay. So today we'll be speaking about digestive enzymes and also fiber and how important that is. And we know a lot about what a lot of proteins that we take in, carbohydrates, fats, and so forth, and from food, but we need to digest it, and as the name goes, digestive enzymes, and I believe that we make this in our body already.
Yeah, absolutely.
But sometimes we can access in terms of maybe supplementation, and how important that is. We'll be talking about that. Many of our guests, I'm sure it's the year 2025 now, and many of our guests probably have resolutions. You may also have resolution. I know I did. And most of the resolutions, they work around, fitness and health and stopping something that they used to do, or maybe starting something that they did not used to do. Okay, so maybe stop smoking, stop drinking, and adopt something that was not in our regime in the first place. So tell me a little bit about yourself first. Why are you a fitness coach, and what do you love about it?
So it came down when I was younger. I was around 20 years old, and I started to do. Actually, it was a New Year resolution. I went to the gym. After Christmas, it was the 2nd of January, I said, you know what, I'm going to change life, I want to do it. And I was young, a little bit naive as well. So I started the gym and I start directly with diet and training. Okay. So what's happened is that I have been followed by biologists, because in Italy, to be able to practice as a nutritionist, you must be a biologist.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Okay. So you need to have a bachelor degree in biology, and with the specialization in nutrition. Okay, right. 3+2.
Interesting. Okay.
And after, when you become biologist with the exam, which is a big exam, you are able to practice. Okay. I did her diet and I have great results, but I start to have problems because the sport nutrition, when you do a nutrition for someone that goes to the gym or does practice a sport, is totally different. I give an example. I used to get 20 grams of olive oil. Wow. So 4 tablespoons.
I say olive oil.
Olive oil, a little bit of Italian.
The Italian kicks in, yes.
Yes,
right.
Sometimes it will kick a little bit more even later.
But that is a lot of benefits in olive oil, right?
Absolutely.
And we need to know.
But it was too low, the quantity. When you give too low, every time that a diet does go in a two-way, too much or too little, you can create problems to the person.
So you need to balance it.
Absolutely. Sustainability is the key.
Of course.
Without sustainability, most of the time, to the people that I ask, that I work with, I ask how many times you can train. Oh, I want to train 5 times. Right. How many times you can train for sure? Yeah. That you will be able to stick.
Be realistic.
Long terms. 3. Let's go with 3. Yeah. Because in the mind, better is more. No. You need to find the optimal dose, which is the minimum quantity to get the maximum results.
Brilliant.
And this is the same thing even with the supplement. The supplement, it must give you the minimum quantity to get the maximum results, period. Right. If it doesn't do it, maybe you should change supplement. Okay. And I started because I started to have problem with my testosterone level. I started to feel fatigue, and I looks like better. Yeah. Also, I enter in the concept, this is a little bit harsh, not harsh, but challenging for me to say. I enter in the mindset: bed, good food, clean, non-clean food, junky food.
Right.
And I did it for 4 years, the diet. I was a soldier, but every Saturday, cheating day.
Okay.
And we gained 2-3 kilos.
Yeah, we all need that.
Yeah, but you need a treat, not a cheat. You don't cheat a diet. Okay. So if you cheat yourself...
We normally call it a cheat day, but it's a treat that you need, right?
Treat. It's already the word, treat. Treat yourself. Yeah. You go out with your friend, you should treat yourself. So I came here, the first month, I spent 800 pounds in food. You know why? Because obesity, people think obesity is someone that eat a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. First of all, you don't get obese in 1 year, so you spend 10 years, 15 years. Yeah. The majority of the time, people that are adult obese, they are child obese, or they have parents obese.
Okay.
And they mathematically almost certain that they will become obese. Obesity is a multifactorial pathology, which is meaning that if I don't have gym around, where I'm going to train, and if I have all Uber Eats shop, with £5 I can get 2,000 calorie meals. And who teach me? A school doesn't teach me, oh, you should get this amount of protein, which is kind of normal.
So 2,000 calories in one meal, that's probably for a man, you know, that's most of his calories for the whole day, right?
Most of his calorie. And the problem that it's not, I will not say that the nutritional timing, so in one way you get 2,000 calories and you're done. But the ratio between the nutrients, carbohydrate, protein, fat matters. Each meal matters.
So to cut the story short, it was a you know, we can go. It's very interesting. We can go on and on about how you became a fitness coach, but it's something to do with yourself. You were going through a little bit of a bad time in terms of nutrition, and that got you motivated to become a fitness coach and to help others.
Yeah, I don't want that they...
Can I summarize that in that way? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Brilliant, fantastic. So, and this is what usually happens, because good people, they don't want the same bad thing to happen to others, and they go out there and, you know, maybe open up a company or go into a field that they can help others. And fantastic, that just shows you're a good person. And normal, usual fitness coaches, people who are out there to benefit others, this is what happens. And interestingly, this show came about when something happened to me personally. Okay, and then I said, well, I had a bit of fatty liver. Okay. The doctor said, you got a bit of fatty liver. I said, what do I do? They said, you got to lose some weight, you know, 7 to 8 kilos of weight, lose it within 3-4 months. And I did that. And I researched on how, you know, if somebody, this is a metabolic disorder at the end of the day, right? Absolutely. And with all metabolic disorders, you know, there are no proper cure. The doctors are going to probably give you something for your symptoms, but you have to help yourself. Absolutely. And that's with diet and exercise, and I did that, and you know, fantastic. All praise be to God. I was you know, I lost 10 kilos, and I said to these guys, let's do a show with you know, something to do with health and fitness, and let's get it out there, you know. So again, this comes about when something happens to yourself. I just thought I'll get that in. Now, I did say that when it says registered sport nutritionist CERN, explain to me in a minute what CERN is.
So the nutritionist here in UK is not a project title, so everyone can call them nutritionists.
Right.
But to be allowed in the register, which is held on by the British Dietetic Association, you must have a bachelor degree and a postgraduate diploma that they recognize, or a bachelor degree and a master degree. You show them your credential, and they say, okay, you do have the credential to work as a nutritionist, and we are able to insuring you, and you are part. So be part of the British Dietetic Association as nutritionist, and in the register is a certification for the people that trust us, that we have the knowledge and the qualification to work with them. Okay,
fantastic. Well, now that we can trust you and that you are registered, and it's a good thing that you clarified your credentials, let's go into the digestive enzymes. So first question would be, what are digestive enzymes and why are they important?
So everything, the body is fascinating. It's like a big machine, and everyone have its component. Okay, so everything that goes inside the body, it must be processed, and it must be expelled, and it must be able to the body to recover to produce energy from it. Okay, so we have the carbohydrate that must be broken down in glucose.
Okay.
The protein that must be broken down in peptide and amino acid.
Right.
So the protein is a quaternary structure, while the amino acid is the single brick. So if I have a wall and the protein is the wall, if I take out one brick, that one is amino acid, and we have 20.
20 amino acids. Okay.
Between essential that we are not able to synthesize, and non-essential that we can. The essential we must take it with the diet.
Right.
The non-essential we can synthesize.
Right.
From other protein. We break down that protein.
Yeah.
And in that case, we need a specific type of protein, and we can rebuild.
Right. Okay.
As long we have the 9 essential that we acquire with the diet. And the 3 most important is leucine, isoleucine, and valine.
Leucine,
isoleucine, and valine. This is the amino acid.
So just to understand that, what you mentioned about protein and carbohydrates and fats, right? We can look at a packet of, let's say, maybe 30 grams of breast chicken or something, and we can understand how much protein that's going to be in there. Right? However, that protein we will not absorb, or it's not going to be breaking down and benefit our body if we don't have those enzymes to actually break it down. Okay, so just to understand that, and same goes with fat and carbohydrate, obviously.
And based on that one, we have different type of enzyme that targeting the different compound, which is, when it's compound, I'm referring to the molecular, so the carbohydrate, protein, and fat. We have the amylase that it breaks down the starch to maltose to glucose. We have the protease, which is, for example, pepsin and tripepsin, that break down the protein.
That was my second question, actually. So you're explaining to me the types of enzymes, the digestive enzymes, and one of them you said is amylase, which breaks down starch into maltose and glucose. Okay, very important.
Then you have the protease with pepsin and tripepsin that break down into peptide and amino acid protein. And then you have the lipase that break down the triglyceride, so the molecule of fat, in 3 molecular of fatty acid and 1 molecule of glycerol.
So can we say these 3 enzymes, digestive enzymes, are the main enzymes?
The main enzyme has a type, and after there is different type of enzyme. So for example, there is the lactase that break down the lactose inside into the galactose and the glucose. The galactose is the milk sugar.
Yes, that's right.
We have the maltose, which is that break down the maltose into glucose, and the maltose is a sugar that is used for fermentation.
So these are all sugars, right? In like,
because at the very end we work in sugar. People that demonize the sugar, you need always to see the context.
What kind of sugar it is, because some of these sugars are important.
But
that's the fuel, right? For us to move.
I give you an example. As a sports nutritionist, I do train people. When I say train, I look their nutrition when they are athletes. I give an example, the marathonet of the cyclist. I did prep Riccardo, which is an Italian athlete, for who he's qualified for the Mondial of Swimming. You need to plan the nutrition, the peri-nutrition, so before, intra, and post. And the ratio that you choose while you do the activity is actually 2:1. 2 molecular of glucose, 1 of fructose. And you take simple glucose because they are fast release. So people say bad glucose when? Every time that I spoke, you never tell me, Sharif, this is the truth. I don't hold the truth. Always depend. Something can work and something cannot work. At the same moment. So.
And it depends on the individual as well.
Because theoretically you work based on biology. Based on physiology. But practically doesn't work. I give you an example today with Manu. We were seeing his graphic of the weight loss, and
one of your clients.
Yeah, a person that I train.
Yes.
You remember?
Okay, right. You want to call them a person that you train? Okay.
Yeah, I do see people on a weekly basis. I keep in touch even with them.
No problem.
We saw the graphic, and he was not losing weight a certain amount of calorie, and I will move into ketosis. I will move to the ketogenic diet.
Okay.
Because he's now working with an approach with more carbs. I saw the data. Measurement is not going down. He cut a lot of calorie. Nothing happened. And I already encountered this scenario. So this one is, something that theoretically should work, practically doesn't work.
Right.
Even, and the same thing with the enzyme. There is more people that have athletes. Athletes are born. You don't become.
No.
And be an athlete is meaning having higher quantity of certain enzyme.
Right.
To do physical activity.
So you believe that athletes are born? Did you say?
Absolutely. You know why? Creatine kinase. So creatine kinase is one of the energy system on how we produce energy. Okay, in the body.
That's interesting.
Athlete. If you take an athlete without training, does have higher energy store than you.
Okay.
So if both you're going to train at the same sport, but he does have higher creatine phosphate deposit, he's going to beat you. Right. Because naturally he does have more reserve.
Logic. Okay, yeah, well, that's true.
Is that one? And there is different type of enzyme based on different type of sugar, of fat. We have the hepatic lipase, we have the lipolipase. That usually is that one that I describe.
Right, okay. Fantastic. Okay, well, thanks for explaining the types of the digestive enzymes and also how important that is and what it does. Also, we know that naturally foods contain that as well, isn't it? So just for the viewers' benefit, if you can just say a few types of food or fruits or vegetables that will contain good enzymes which we should incorporate in our diet.
So it's always about nutrition and get it right, and also having variety. Sometimes people, stick with some food.
Yeah.
So for example, the pineapple does have the bromelain, which is a protease.
Which you mentioned before, which is a protease.
It does help with the breakdown of the protein. We have the papaya with the papain. It's
papain,
papain.
They all got similar names, which is related,
and to remember, because otherwise you get a little bit crazy.
Okay.
You have the papain, which is another protease. That one, for example, help with the tenderize of the meat.
Okay.
You have the banana with the amylase and maltase for the breakdown of carbohydrate. You have the yogurt, but that one is fermentation type of food.
Yep.
The yogurt does work as a probiotics.
Probiotic, which produces lactase, is it?
Induce a production of lactase probiotics. That one after we will explain what is meaning. And you have the kimchi, which is a Korean dish. It's made by fermented salted vegetables.
Okay.
Most of the time Korean cabbage.
Korean cabbage, yeah?
Or Korean radish.
Can we get this in this country?
I think so. I mean, you can get everything in this country.
Yes, you can. Yeah, that's true.
That one is why we love this country.
Okay, all right, okay. And these are all complete endogenous enzymes, yeah?
Yeah, it does help. So you see, endogenous is meaning something that we produce. And if you get the food, because actually the nutrition is the first prevention.
Right.
So having a higher quantity of enzyme in certain limit, it does help with the digestion, obviously, and with the overall health. So if you help your body to produce this enzyme, you done
and you prevent inviting bad health, right?
Quite a bit, actually.
Which is very important, because sometimes, and what the things that are out there, very easy access to get. What you said earlier on, 5 pound meal,
it's crazy
with so much calories, and most of it is empty calories as well. They're not benefiting you much.
No,
do they? Because
it depends. I can
a lot of fried food, maybe burgers and all that kind of stuff.
I will tell you something. This American professor, he lost a very good amount of weight, and he's a professor in this university.
Don't tell me he lost weight on that diet.
No, I wish I would.
Because I've had nutritionists on this program, and they said, you know, like, because we hear, for example, saturated fat, right? And I had a nutritionist here, and she said to me, you know, saturated fat is good. And she explained to me in such a way, I couldn't really argue because, you know, but
in minimum quantity, even that one. So usually the diet should be 30% from fat, and those 30%, 10% should be saturated fat.
Okay.
But the reality is the mono and the polyunsaturated,
right,
MUFA and PUFA, that have the action of anti-inflammatory, because the saturated doesn't have the anti-inflammatory function. And if your body is pro-inflammatory, which is meaning that simply even starting to have a higher level of glucose in the bloodstream, chronic, it does give you in the long terms the insurgence of a pre-diabetic status.
Right, okay.
And that one is the first line of you are inflamed. Okay.
Okay, okay. So that's something we can, I just thought I'll mention that because sometimes, and we know, you know, science in these fields, they make a U-turn sometimes, you know, like 10, 15 years ago, they used to say a certain type of diet was good for you, and then, you know, it changes. But maybe with a lot of research and maybe to benefit us, or maybe there's another reason, maybe we can talk about that another time. So all these enzymes, you mentioned what we can get the enzymes from as well, and how it helps the digestion, and how important the digestion is for the whole, you know, body, or the system of the body to work. Okay, so we also mentioned fiber earlier on, and the importance of fiber. Why is it essential for the gut health? Just explain to me a little bit about that.
The fiber is a carbohydrate that basically is not digestible. So it passes toward the body intact, and it arrives to the colon.
Okay.
We need to mention two types of fiber, mainly soluble and insoluble fiber.
Okay.
So the soluble is in contact with water, they become like a gel. Okay.
So the soluble is it
becomes like a gel.
Okay.
Okay. And what it does, it does slow down the digestion tract. So basically slow down the digestion. So when it make it slower, what is going to happen that you have, first of all, less spike of the glucose levels, because it becomes slower, the insulin level will raise a less speed than normally they would.
Okay.
So for example, if I'm eating carbohydrate with high glycemic index, even if the glycemic index is the unit on basically how much will raise your level of glucose inside the bloodstream.
Okay.
But talking about just the glycemic index, you must see also the load index. So even if this food have high level, or I have a high GI, so it will raise quite fast your level of glucose. How much you need to that happen?
Right.
So if I taking high carbohydrate beverage, for example, and I take a fruit, I take a fiber, it will slow down the spike of the glucose. And that one is a health benefit, especially for people that they are glucose borderline, so they are in a pre-diabetic state. Also, it does have a function in terms of bonding with the cholesterol, the LDL, and in doing so, it can be evacuated, it can be expelled from the body.
Okay.
But even on that one, people sometimes think that all cholesterol is bad. In reality, it's not like that.
No. So explain to me. Obviously, there's one which is HDL, which is good for us, right?
Yes, but overall, if you take the molecule of cholesterol, and I'm not talking about LDL or HDL or VLDL, very low density protein, your cell membrane, the membrane that is around the cells that surround and confine the cells is made by as well the cholesterol, from cholesterol.
Really?
Yeah. So it if you don't produce cholesterol, and the membrane cell can be damaged. So even in that one, the reason why the cholesterol, the LDL, is dangerous is because the formation, the creation of the atherosclerotic plaque, which is meaning that there is the sedimentation in some part of your body, and it starts to grow. But even on that one, if the body is pretty smart, if he does have the time, he will start to stabilize the plaque.
Okay.
He put tissues around.
Just to protect it.
If this is the plaque, he will put tissues around, so it becomes less stable. If it's unstable, what's happening that even people falls and after they can have a stroke, because when they fall, they have the impact and the plaque, because it's unstable, it break and it start to go around.
So the tissue is not protecting it anymore?
No, it's not stable anymore. So, and because it goes around, if you stop at the brain, you have a stroke, and if you stop to the heart, you have a heart attack. But the physiopathology, so how there is the creation of this pathology, this process, is the same, is the higher amount of LDL. But even if, let's say that you have high cholesterol, but your HDL is higher than certain limits, it becomes none. You're protected. My mother used to have certain level of cholesterol higher.
Okay.
And I saw the HDL and I said, Mom, you're fine. Okay. Make sure to get this amount of olive oil, nuts. You give good fat and you are healthy.
So that's so this is what I was mentioning about earlier on about the good fats. So but we need to know, right? We need to have the knowledge on
the good fat.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know that the good fats are are the same one that you can find the soluble fiber, chia seed, flaxseed, nuts, even because you find the fiber in chickpeas, lentils, oats, orange apple,
right?
You know, if we're talking about the insoluble fiber, because they are important as well, they improve the bowel movement. Okay. So if the bowel movement are better, you do not have constipation.
So tell me a few things about or mention a few foods or fruits with insoluble fiber.
We have quinoa, wet, whole grain. We have the carrots. We have the nuts. We have the green beans, for example.
Green beans, right?
Yeah. Even because if also the insoluble fiber, they basically add volume, bulk to the stool. The stool is the waste product of what we eat. And
so you have a good bowel movement, which is a lot of people, they complain about.
They complain what they eat. But you know,
constipation and everything, you know.
But you know what is the trick? So it's basically do the rainbow.
Do the rainbow,
you didn't know, eh?
No, I didn't know that.
So when you eat,
colors,
red peppers, violet onion,
right? Okay.
Red.
So red onion again, violet.
No, purple. I like the purple. Purple onion.
Okay.
And you pick up different fruit, even because
blueberries,
yes, absolutely.
Now I'm just going with the color with your rainbow.
Blueberries is a superfood.
Even
kiwi. Kiwi and blueberries are super food, which are rich of antioxidant. And that's when it reduces the inflammation, because people like to train a lot. They're training a lot. They sleep little. They work a lot because we are in London. We love the city, but it's a little bit expensive.
It is,
But we are grateful because give us the job, give us room to improve and to go higher with career. But the long story short, that when you have lack of sleep, the cortisol level raise. Now, even here, everyone talk, because the cortisol raising, you need to, it need to be chronic, it need to be, there is deprivation of sleep, it need to give you some sign that it start to interfere, because the body raise the cortisol, because so you don't sleep, you are less tired, you are more tired, you work out less.
Okay.
So there is people like to train, but they need to pay attention of getting enough antioxidant far away from the training, because if you take, for example, blueberries post-training, you're going to reduce the adaptation of your training.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you. You've covered my other question, which was going to be what are the best dietary source of fiber, and you mentioned nuts and quinoa. Did you say broccoli? Broccoli is really good. I like broccoli. Cauliflower, broccoli and stuff like that, I really like it. And you mentioned a few seeds. So just for the viewers' sake, I will just mention, have these foods in your diet. Some of them are superfood, which Simon mentioned, blueberries. Try to have a little blueberry shake every morning maybe, or incorporate that in your diet. Soluble fiber, he mentioned oats, lentils, chia seeds. That's another superfood. I always have that. You know, I mean, these flax seeds, another one, but you know, they're very small and you can mix it with anything, with salad, maybe in a drink, right? So you can really, because having it on its own is not always appropriate, and well, I wouldn't say appropriate, maybe not convenient, but you know, you can add it with any of your food. Flax seeds, another one. The doctors always say have an apple a day, or having an apple a day makes or keeps the doctors away. Right?
Absolutely.
So, apples, oranges, those were the soluble ones. Insoluble fiber, have whole wheat, nuts, seeds. We mentioned broccolis, carrots, and what Simon mentioned about the rainbow, which is very interesting, because just follow the colors. So a lot of colorful fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
Yeah, vegetables. Yeah.
Just for the sake, for the fat, make sure to do one portion, which is one tummy, because otherwise they will start to eat, and after they will start to gain, and they will come to us. You know,
and then you give them a good personal training. That's where you make your money.
But yeah,
why
one
not?
Portion, one thumb. This is a portion of carbs. This is a portion of protein.
Okay.
So having a portion of fat, even for example, even dark chocolate, amazing.
Dark chocolate is a lot of people don't know, or maybe they do.
It's another superfood.
Yes, but you know, when you say chocolate, it sounds like. But dark chocolate, tell me.
It's a little bit bitter.
Quickly, just tell me a little bit, just because we're talking about this, you know, and it's got fiber as well, right?
Yeah, and it's always come back to the gut health. Food that increase the gut health will lead to have better production, increased production of serotonin, dopamine, GABA for the sleep. These are between hormones and neurotransmitter that are important for the brain. So all these food, it does help the gut.
Wow.
And the gut make you healthy.
Amazing.
If the gut health, the gut bacteria, they are sick.
The
dysbiosis.
Rest of the body is sick.
Your immune function is down. Your mood is down.
So I mean, you know, again, it's so important what you put in your body. The gut has trillions of microbacteria, right?
Yeah, this is why.
I mentioned in another show, these bacteria, they work like a security system for you, or an army. You know, they're here to protect you. So you've got to feed them good stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So all these things that we've been mentioning, these are the food, the nutrition for the bacteria. And again, what the gut bacteria is so important that it even helps with your brain functions, rest of the body, the whole body, to be honest. So whatever goes in here matters how the rest of your body works, including your eyes and your ears and everything, right? Very, 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 very important to know. Let's just cover the few other questions that I have quickly. We mentioned that fiber improved digestion and overall health. Now, busy life. A lot of people have a very, very busy schedule. So this becomes a problem in our daily lives, that we always don't get the right kind of diet. Maybe making it, because homemade food is the best, right? You know, preparing your own food, and what we have outside is not always healthy for us. So then we go to supplementation, because someone wants to have the easy way of just taking a few pills. So should we consider supplementing And also what we mentioned about digestive enzymes before, should we consider supplementing with digestive enzymes?
I will answer like, so when I was studying at the Institute of Performance and Nutrition, they show us the importance of this sentence. Even if you could, you should.
Even if you could, you should. Okay, right.
Marker question
Okay.
mark.
Yeah.
So obviously it's depending about the situation.
Right.
If you do have lactose intolerance, so the production of the lactase that break down the lactase in galactose and in sugar, in glucose, sorry, is down regulated, which is meaning that the production is lower.
Right.
And you really like this milk product, okay, get it. But there is other case, for example, the exocrine pancreatic insufficient, which is meaning that the pancreas doesn't produce the optimal quantity of.
But how would you know that? How would somebody know?
No, that one is medical, and I was going to add that this is a medical situation.
Right. So doctors will let you know.
Where you need to speak with the doctor. Maybe you can take the supplementation with the IBS, the irritable bowel syndrome.
A lot of people suffer from this.
But because it's tied up with the food map, which is a type of food which is the name is very long.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, go on. You can give it a go.
The food map stands for oligosaccharide, disaccharide, monosaccharide, and fermented polyols.
Right. All that sounded very Italian to me.
Yeah, and I speak like that, so it's a little bit more. I try my best to sound Italian.
So what is that exactly?
So this type of short chain of carbohydrate, when are too higher quantity, they can give you problems.
Okay.
And if they give you problems, you do have bloatiness, you have flatulence, constipation.
Okay.
You don't feel on top of the world. So following a low food maps in this case and reduce this type of short chain carbohydrate, it does improve. There is an enzyme, alpha galactosidase, which have been shown to improve symptoms of the IBS, the irritable bowel syndrome. So in that case, but even here, rather than think about the enzyme, think about what you're eating, because the majority of the time, but you know, I'm vegan, I'm plant-based for the last 3 years.
Wow. Okay.
If I eat
did you used to eat meat?
Yeah, I did some period where because I did also a couple of competition, very amateur level.
You don't, maybe people ask you that anyway, but you don't miss the meat or?
No, but you know why? Because I adopted a senior cat. He was 12 years old.
Okay.
And I shared with him life until he was 15.
Wow.
So 3 years of golden pension for him because I provide everything.
Yeah.
And I asked myself, is the right thing do not eat him but eat other animals? So I was a little bit in conflict.
Okay.
But I do.
But your cat likes meat, right?
Yeah, it does. So what's happening is if I eat too much fiber, and it happened, I'm sick. Too much fiber, too little, too much.
Yeah, so the balance.
Always the balance.
Always.
Between 25 to 35 grams a day for the fiber, a combination of the soluble and insoluble.
Yeah.
And more or less people should aim for between 2 to 600 grams of vegetables altogether during the day. Okay. The rainbow, job's done.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Yeah, simple, isn't it? Follow the rainbow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Sounds like the movie Wizard of Oz. Anyway, so the next question would be: are there risks associated with taking enzymes? And you did say if you could, you should, or if you need to, then you should. But are there any risks in taking enzyme supplements?
It's not just the enzyme.
Any supplements?
Creatine, one of the most safest.
Creatine, yeah.
Creatine, one of the creatine monohydrate, guys. Creatine monohydrate is the cheapest, the most studied, the more results. Don't let
Monohydrate.
It's easy.
That's the powder form.
Yeah, but
Can you get it in tablet forms?
yeah, but you know, it will cost you $30.
Yeah.
What-
But yeah, I know it's not. But there's a you've got to take it for a few days for it to.
So you need, in reality, it used to be the workload. So basically 20 grams a day for 5-7 days. But that one give you problem to your tummy.
Yeah.
They used to. It's not. I don't suggest to any of the people that I work with and the athlete. 5 grams a day for 6 weeks. And after 6 weeks you stop. It's called a washout period. It's a period where you stop with the supplement, but you still have the benefit.
Off the show, I'll be asking you about that, okay?
Absolutely.
Because I'm not on creatine. That's water retention a lot, isn't it, as well?
Inside the muscle, which is good, not outside.
Okay, so it's
so
a good
we
thing.
want that one.
We'll talk about that another time.
You
and
have dependency.
Yeah, I need to know a bit more about that. So just off the show, and maybe we can do another show on that later on someday. But so with regards to the risk, quickly just mention a few things here.
Dependency, which is meaning that everything that you put in your body toward an endogenous, exogenous, so from the external, it's not endogenous, from internal, it will tend to shut down the part of your body that does produce. Okay, so if you take too much enzyme, the results will be a down regulation, so the enzymes start to go lower. You can have an allergic reaction. Allergic reaction is immunomediated, which is meaning that it activates the immune system. Anaphylactic shock, for example, people that are.
So you need to know what your allergens. What kind of allergens you should not be taking. Basically.
Yeah, because there is enzyme that they are bovine ricavate, so it comes from the bovine, and you can be allergic. Interaction with drugs, so co-interaction. Again, doctor, if you have a pathology, it's really rare that you're going to take specific enzyme unless the doctor telling you.
Right.
You know. Okay. So even that one, it can interfere with the coagulant.
Brilliant. Okay. Right. I understand. Okay. Thank you, Simon. Thank you once again. We've got to end it now because we're running out of time.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to have you on the show. Just for you guys, I hope you understood what digestive enzymes are and fiber as well, how important it is to our gut, and all the bacteria that we have, which is very important, and also how to incorporate these types of food that we mentioned. The other thing is follow the tip that Simon has given with regards to the rainbow. So a lot of colorful vegetables, fruits as well. We know colors are good for us. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you benefited from it. I know I have. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum.